I don't do Saturday and Sunday. So I go for a swim every morning, Monday to Friday. I do a bit of gym work. I have a coffee with a friend and just think about what I'm doing. I then go and read my reasons for doing things, like that's here. I go through my daily routine, just reading, like I want to make a positive difference. I want to be a good human. I like to work smarter, not harder. I like to tell the absolute truth simply, these sorts of things. And then my focus on my children, a bit on myself. This is what I try and do.
Okay.
I then go through my daily routine, what I'm going to do, what jobs I've got on, where we're at, what jobs I'm going to try and do today. I put in yellow, and I just really plan out what I'm actually trying to do. And then I have my bigger projects, which I sort of work a bit, and that's what I do. So that's what I do every morning, planning, and then in the evening I have a little bit of a think about what I've actually done. Some people write down a journal and write down what they've done for the day. That's fine. I try not to be negative on anything. I really try and look at positive, and if it's negative, I just try and let it go. If I can't solve it, I just try and let it go. Working smarter, not harder, is all about 80-20, looking at the things that get things done. Like I look at doing jobs that earn more money because I'm a lot better at earning more money than I am at fundraising. So that's how I get money for Africa. I just focus on, well, what earns money? And I'm only working with people that are earning money to achieve what I want to achieve. And also try and stay balanced at the end of the day. So we talked a bit about a little bit about what do you want to do in business. I really do think that, there's money coming in each month from me. You can be thinking about that if you can't be thinking about any other business. And what I want to see is more children helped. So that's a way of earning some more money. But you've got your banana wine, or you've got your IT business. But what do you want to do? And I just try and work out, well, how can you do little things? How can you do a few little things better? But that's up to you. We talked a bit about assets, income, expenditure. It's similar. Like for me, my rule is that, I'll write it up here. My rule is 7,500 a month. I want to see 20 kids. That's $350 a child. I think it's $375. So if you can start to do more kids, or they cost less, well, then I'm happy with that. But I don't want to be paying out 7,000. I don't want to be paying out 10,000 and then seeing, like, forget kids. Month. I don't want to be paying out 10,000 and seeing 10 kids helped, because that is then $1,000 a child. So I'm focusing in on 7,500, 20 kids, 375. That's actually, I could do 3 times as many children almost if I choose. So that's my little formula. But you can have a formula, well, you want to earn $500, or you want to earn $800, and you want to do this, but you want to spend less money than what you're doing. That's what you need to understand, is those things. But I think you probably do. So what do you want to do in business? Me, I really know what I like to do. I love working in real estate. So I work in real estate. But you can choose whatever business you want to do. And if you needed a couple of $100 to get going on a business, I'd be happy to fund any of you, lend you some money, if you wanted to get a business going. So last week we talked a little bit about, how you spend your time and your money, how you think about what you're doing. Truth be known, the two smartest people on how to spend their time and money are here in Matcha and Batro. Latium was pretty good, but he didn't communicate exactly what he did. Batro is a very good communicator, as are you, Matcha. Alan seems to be great, but he just does not stay consistent on the child things. And so therefore he never is going to earn any serious money from me. But he could be earning a lot more money in the child surgeries, but he doesn't choose to. So you guys invest your time with me and the children, and I try and reward you. So that seems to work well. I talked about spending part of your time on working and part of your time on investing in yourselves, investing in your job. So as if you're just every day sweeping or gardening or ITing, if you're just doing that all the time, you'll always earn a certain amount of a living, but you'll never get anything better. I try and spend time on myself, exactly like what you're doing here, trying to be thinking about how can you do things better for yourselves. And so what I usually start off with, you have a clear goal on what you're trying to achieve. Like, for instance, my goal is I'd like to see more children helped. The outcomes, well, they're measurable. They're like, well, I'm saying I'd like to see 20 a month. It used to be 10 a month, but now I'd like to see 20 a month. And then we go through processes. And the processes we go through are pretty simple. You provide a video at the start and you get an okay, and we put them up on Google Sheets. Then we get the child there. The child is operated on, and then another video comes, and then the child goes home, and a video comes, or something. Well, so that's yeah. And
But also,
if you go through the right process, then the banana wine's good. If you go through the wrong process, it doesn't work. Correct?
But also, I'm still doing chili sauce.
Sorry?
I'm also mainly doing chili sauce.
Yeah, no, I wasn't checking up on you, Bartro. I was talking about process for making the wine. So you go through a process to make your wine, and if you go through the right process, it works. Your wine is good. If you go through the wrong process, your wine's no good. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, business is no different. You've got to work out what is a good process for you and keep doing it. And then eventually you can get other people to do it for you. Exactly like what I'm doing. I don't look after any of the children. We have an agreed process that you do the work and then I pay you. It's a slightly unusual business in that I don't get any income, but that's different. That's running an organisation. So I'm clear on what I want. I think I've been really good in my life on having goals. Like, do you want me to stop for a sec, Matcha, or you're okay?
Yes, I'm okay, Malak.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have clear goals on what I'm doing. At work, in business, my goals are that I like to service my clients. I'd like to earn $1 million a year. And I go through very clear processes. When I go and talk to a client, I talk to them in a certain way. Then I ask them to sign a form. Then I go through a schedule of getting marketing ready and that sort of thing. Then we go and stand on the property. Then we find a buyer. Then we sign a contract. And I do that over and over again. That's the process there. But I also do marketing. I do marketing to try and get more people to come to me. And I do that by writing a blog every week. Sometimes I even mention you guys in the blog. So writing a blog every week has been very effective of staying in contact. Latian is really good at his job because he rings people all the time, or people ring him. That's another way of staying in contact. Bartro's built a good system with his ambassadors. So he stays in contact with his ambassadors, and then they bring children to here. That's almost like running a wholesale and a retail. Like, you know, you're a manufacturer, you're making the wine, then you go and talk to the shopkeepers, and then they sell to the other people. Well, that's what we're doing here, is that Bartro goes and talks to his ambassadors. The ambassadors go and talk to people, and the children come here. Latian does the same. That's a process. And the better your process is, and the cheaper your process is, or the more income you're getting in your process, then the better your business. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, man.
So I'm always looking, like I'm thinking with you. I'm always trying to work out how can I be fair to you, but how can I get you to do as many children as possible at a high quality for as cheap as possible. And that's my business, if that makes any sense. That's my organisation. So and the way to be able to do that is I'm constantly looking each month on how you're spending things, which is why I say to Light, send us your accounts each month, because I like to see how the money is being spent. And if I think it's being spent poorly, or I think we can improve it, then we do it in different ways. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like to talk a bit more about goals, outcomes, and processes? Do you understand what I'm saying? Not really. Okay, let's do this. So a goal is make the best wine. Make the best banana wine. The process get the bananas, then ferment them, and then bottle them. That's just rougher. But there's more processes than just that. So you also need another process of print labels, go to shopkeepers, give a price discount for them to sell. Then there's another process. Money from shops, bank statements, pay tax, pay wages. There's all sorts of processes that you need to be thinking about when running a business. And you keep looking at each one of those processes and trying to get them as good as you possibly can. Like process goal, more child surgeries. Process, get the child, get permission, get to hospital, get surgeon, get back home. But there's also process. Another process would be, okay, would be tell ambassadors, train ambassadors. Am I spelling that correct? Eventually get ambassadors to take children to hospital. That's a process that you could get going and get better, and eventually you could actually get ambassador to get child to agreed surgeon, and then get ambassador to get child home. And but the way we can make this better is get ambassador, get child to plaster house or Nakaranga or anywhere, and then get plaster house to get child home, but do a video before and after. And that may cost $80. Actually, let's say it costs $120. But if we go back to here, we're doing $7,500 a month, 20 kids, each child's costing $375, the way we've set it all up at the moment. But here, if you're doing a better process, if we got each child at $120, we could do $750, $7,000. Oh, hold on. But let's say we still had to pay Matcha, we had to pay Batro, and we had to pay Latian. And let's say we paid you $3,000, we paid you $1,000 a month each. That's $3,000. And we did 20 children, which equals at 120, that's 2,400. 3,000 plus 2,400 equals 5,400, or what's that? Come on, my maths, geez. Let's go back up here. 5,400 divided by 20 equals 270. So we've got $270 per child. Or, and remember, back up here, it was costing $375 a child. This way, it's only costing $270 a child, plus each of you are earning $1,000 a month. Now, which one do you think I'll be happy with? So you're earning $1,000 a month. I'm only paying out $5,400 a month, or I could be doing 3,000, 3,600. I got 30 children. 30 children at 120 equals 3,600, plus the 3,000 for each of you, maybe plus 300 in expenditure, or maybe 600 in expenditure for petrol, etc. So that's $7,200. You're earning $1,000 each. Each one of the three of you is earning $1,000 each. We're looking after 30 children, and it's costing me $300 a month less. So I'm getting 10 more children, $300 less, and you're getting paid. So that means more kids are being helped. Now, I'm not saying the Plaster House is going to let us to do this, but I'm trying to give you an example of how we can start to think about how we can be doing more children, you earning more money, and maybe even me paying less. But let's just say I'm happy paying $7,500. If you're doing 30 children instead of 20, that means another 100 odd children every year gets good surgery, and you're getting a really good income. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
Yes, man.
And you say, oh, okay, Mel, but then we're not paying for all the dinners and meals for the staff at the hospital. Well, I suppose that's where we've got to start saying the balance. Well, is that worth it? If we're getting all the children off to Plaster House, and I'm not saying to do this, but we wouldn't need the children, the staff, do we? Do we need? But then hold on, who's going to be the doctors that are going to be operating on the children? So, you know, if they're not happy, well, then Plaster House won't be able to send the children there. So these are just the little things you just need to be thinking about. It's not quite as simple as getting Plaster House to do all the children, but you could earn an extra $100 or $200 a month. We could get a few more children in there each month, and we could still make sure that we paid some of the staff's meals. Maybe we just did meals once a fortnight. Maybe the incentives that we paid, we could pay a little bit more if we put less into the. It's probably get that if he's got the Germans. I'm happy. Okay. So we go on to the next thing here, marketing, quick tests. This is what I always try and encourage people to do. I sort of talked about it with Leighton at some stage, just about, well, actually March is even better at it, you know, because we talked about when you're doing the herbs and spices last year, you know, do you take a few samples to some of the shopkeepers to see if they want to do it? Well, we've started taking a few of the children to Plaster House. Now, obviously they had a problem with Leighton and they had a problem with Mal, but if Bartro is taking the children there, well, then that was really smart and that started to work. So if we can do a few more, that'd be really good, because maybe they haven't got the skills or haven't got the people out in Kagoma and they're happy to do things. Maybe maybe Leighton can be talking to some other, the way he does things, he could be getting more money out of the German doctors, providing he gave them the reports and did all this. If that's actually helping them, great. I have no issue. I'm only interested in more children being helped. So that's a style. But let's say that you wanted to set up a hamburger shop. Well, probably rather than set up the shop, a way maybe to go to a market stall, see if you can set up a market stall and test your hamburgers and see what people liked, see what rolls they liked, what hamburgers they liked, what sauces they liked, and see which sold the best. And then you can work out which cost the most, and you can start to think about costs versus the quality of the hamburger. Does that make any sense?
Yes, Mal.
Okay. Well, have you thought about, are there any other jobs that you'd like to do? Maybe next week you come up with, because we're almost finished, maybe next week we'll talk about what jobs you would like to do. And we'll try and make a plan for how you might get it off the ground. That can be a job where I'd like to help more children. It can be a job where I want to make hamburgers. It could be a job where, I don't know, like Marcia said he'd like to do his things. Is that a good idea?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So before we finish up, have you got any questions? Have you got anything you'd like to talk about? Hi, Alan.
My
Mal.
question, Mal.
Sorry?
I sent my question on the group. On the donor group.
Oh, there's a question, is there?
Yes.
Okay, let me have a look. Okay, what techniques can help me track successfully my daily time and money? I would start off with what we're doing here. In your August workbook, I would start here writing in how many hours you did in the day. I should have put this August 1, sorry. My fault. My fault. So I would start writing in here. So here's Bartro. We're on the 6th. I would write in here, I've spent 2 hours on surgery or 1 hour on children today. Okay. And then I put down in the comment, met for Biashara, Africa. And then that's in there. I would start doing this initially. Like, it does seem like it's really basic, but it's better that you start doing it each day, putting in what jobs you're doing, so you can then start going back and reviewing. Like, I have a diary. This is my diary for tomorrow. I've got a meeting at 8:30 in the morning in Richmond. I've then got another meeting in Glen Iris. I'm then having a massage, which I have every week. I've then got a meeting at 1 o'clock looking at a property. I've then got another meeting at 2 o'clock, which I've got 2 meetings, but I'm going to this one, which is be looking at a new house and putting some new furniture in there. So I have a plan for the day on everything that I'm doing. I also have this, which is, sorry. I do spend a fair bit of time on that app, but anyway, I also have this. So these are my jobs. And then I put in, let's say tomorrow I've got to do something for Kylie and David Wright. So I'll write in, find a home. Find a new home to look at. So I put that in and I go, that's an important job for me. So I make that yellow. I've got to do it tomorrow. And then I can just look down here and see what jobs I've got to do in the immediate future. And then when it's done, if I choose to, I can just go like this, put it in as a comment. Find a new home to look at. Then I can delete it because I've done it. And then I can say it's not important and I just reset it. Now that's just a little simple technique any of you can do on your Google Sheets because you've all got Google Sheets. So I don't do anything. I don't spend any money on anything. This is stuff I've got. So I'm really clear on my goals. They're here. I've got my dailies. I've got my weeklies. I have my diary. And that's really about all I need to get things done. I would start keeping a diary and I would start writing down what you're doing each day. Next question. How can I set smart financial goals? Well, you know how? You just start off by setting a goal. So you'd say, you know what? I want to earn $1,000 a month. If you're already earning $1,000 a month, you say, I want to earn $1,500 a month. Like you set your goal, you write it down, and then you say, okay, well, how can I do that? Well, maybe I can earn another $100 from Mal. Maybe I can earn another $200 from selling hamburgers at the market. Maybe I can earn another $100 from some banana wine or building some extra or doing some overtime at the hospital. I don't know. I mean, work out. Maybe don't set your goals too high. Maybe just say, I want to earn $200 a month more than I'm earning at the moment. And then put that down as a goal and then start working out, how can I do it? That would be the best way to start on earning on coming up is establish what you're trying to do, because if you don't have a clear plan, then you can't achieve what you want. Like, how long have we been doing this, Latian? We've been doing this, well, 7, 8 years.
We have been doing for a long time, and something like
Yeah.
7 years.
And I've had a lot of difficulties at various times. I've had a lot of very positive things, but we've been through COVID. We've been through a few misunderstandings. We've been through times when I haven't been earning much money. But I'm really clear. We're still going. Why? And we're now up to, I think, almost 900 children, because it's really clear goals. More child surgeries, better staff incentives, more sustainable sell-in or more sustainable hospitals. It's not just more child surgeries, because I can't do this without you. So therefore, I've got to try and help you earn more money or be happier or whatever. And then also I can't do it without the hospital setup. So we've got to try and make sure that sell-in is okay as best we can. Now, it's not perfect, but they're the goals I focus on. And if I wasn't clear on my goals, then I would have left you guys and I would have gone down with Paul trying to set up something in Ngorongoro for, the Maasai that are being pushed out of there, which is a perfectly legitimate thing. But I haven't gone down that track because I'm really clear on my goals here with more child surgeries, more child surgeries with people I care about in Celian. And that's why we've been able to keep going. So to set goals, I'd start off by saying, Bartro, I want to earn another $100 a month, or I want to increase my wages by 30%. Just to set that as a goal, and then I'm happy to sit down and we can workshop that next week and see if we can work out ways where you can do it. Okay, third question. Prioritizing the needs over wants is the way forward to financial freedom. How can we successfully keep track of the daily expenditure and making priorities of the money spending daily? Look, I probably, it's important to deal with budgets, but you don't want to get too caught up in it. So I would just be keeping a record. It's why I ask for receipts. So each month you've got to show me where you spend the money, but you actually do show me. So I'd be more interested in working out ways of how I can increase my income, because I think the way you control your expenditure is not too bad. So I would encourage you to be each day recording your expenditure, or every time you spend some money, write it down. And then at the end of the month, you can sit down and review how you've spent the money. I'm not that good at not spending money. I'm a shocking spender of money. I'm not a really good businessman. One thing I am really good at is making money. So I look at all the jobs. I'm really strong on asking a strong fee. I'm really focused on trying to get the jobs finished. Every day I'm looking at where my income is coming in and I'm focused in on it. Maybe I could be doing a bit better in controlling my expenditure, because maybe I'd have a bit more money. But then if I was like that, maybe I wouldn't spend any money in Africa. So you got to do what you believe in. And I think control expenditure is important. It is. So the best way to do that, I think, is to write it down to start with, and then you can make some budgets, because then you can start to look at what we talked about here. When we gave the example here that if I paid each one of you $1,000 a month and you got all the children to go to Plaster House, well, it'd actually be cheaper for me. We could get more children done and you get more money. Now, I'm not saying to do that, but that's just an extreme example of you just start tweaking things a little bit, just thinking about, well, how can we do a few more children? Because if you came to me with a plan, I promise you, if you came to me with a plan that said, Mal, it's only going to cost another $1,000 and we can look after another 10 kids a month, I'd seriously think about doing that. So if in your $1,000, you earned $150 of that, and $850 was in the extra things, I'd be listening. Now, that's just a slight example. Now, back to the last question. Oh, thank you for empowering. Okay. It may be a little bit difficult. I would just work out, I would start off with how much, set yourself a goal. I want to earn an extra $100 a month. Set an easy and an achievable goal, and think about that for next week, and we'll have a discussion on it. I'll write it in here now. Next week, we'll talk about it. Because everything starts a bit small, but you just start off doing it. I don't know. Is that helpful or not?
Yeah.
It's
useful.
helpful.
Okay. Righto. Well, when's the next child review meeting, Marcha?
We will be meeting on 9th. No, not, sorry. Let me check the calendar. Sorry,
Kumi na tatu. Kumi na tatu.
13th. Sorry.
13th.
13th.
13. Okay. Was that next week?
Yes, next week.
Yes.
13th.
What time is that? So we got Biashara and then we'll do the children. Is that a good idea?
It will be at 10.
Sorry?
Will be at 10.
Okay, well, we'll do, which are we doing? Yeah, but Biashara is at 10 too. So we do Biashara first and then we'll do the children? Or shall we do children
Yes,
first?
we will do Biashara first, then after Biashara, then we do the child review.
I don't mind. You work it out and let me know.
Okay.
Yes.
Are there any children that have got any major issues at the moment we've got any trouble with? No?
Not really.
Good. One thing we could
Sorry, ma. I have sent a message of the child called Elia with a problem, but no, I didn't get any reply.
yeah, that's
Through Warriors.
Is that an emergency at the moment or what's happening?
If the child need to be taken because it seems like he had some pain. He's crying a lot, many times.
Okay, cost? What are we doing? How are we solving this issue?
I think the better is just the child to be taken to see his doctor at
Which is who?
at KCMC because he was operated
Cost.
there.
So can you take them on the bus there and I'll cover the cost, or what do you want me to do? What are you saying to me? What's the solution? Or can the parent take the child there?
It's difficult for the mother to travel by herself. Maybe I'll take the child, then I'll give you what the doctor said about the
I'll cover the
child.
cost and I'll cover your petrol. You hear that, Leighton?
Okay. Yes, I hear it.
Okay. Now, don't say yes to the hospital and then they send me a bill for $5,000. Find out what the cost is, please. But yeah, we'll cover it if it's reasonable.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Thank you. Is there anything else? One thing I think Butro would be good if Matcha, Butro and Atlassian can think about is I think we should get up on the Google Sheets that each of the children that we have currently, and then we can have Elizabeth or Maggie or whoever can be ticking off each of the child things. So I'm going to have a bit of a think about that, and we can put it up on Google Sheets rather than getting all that paperwork coming each day, because none of us can see it all. So I think it'd be good if we all got it up on one sheet,
Okay.
maybe a Google Sheet. What do you think?
It's a good idea, Mal.
Okay, I'll work on that. Okay, well, I'll see you all. Alan, I sent that note off, as you can see, to David Cunningham, and he's just sent us back the usual, not much, so we'll keep going. And by the way, I'm up to $20,000 raised so far for the hospital, so we are moving in the right direction for the new ward, so we'll keep on going.
Thank you for your commitment of communicating with David.
No worries. Righto, well, I'll see you all next week.
Okay.
Thank you. See you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.